And we are live. Oh no, you're not eating dinner. This is such a live, real show because my co-host is chowing. Okay, so
I was
tell the
taking
people
the
what
last bite. The last bite.
tell the people what you're eating. You might as well share with us, honey, because
Wel-
yes.
Welcome to Moms for Trans Kids.
Welcome to Moms for Trans Kids podcast. Oh my God. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
am eating um vegan nachos.
Oh,
Yeah, vegan nachos.
I don't know
You
what
know,
that
I've
is.
just been doing the vegan thing since, well, this is my second go around. I started in the mid 90s. It was very difficult to be completely vegan in the mid 90s. Not a lot of options, not a lot of restaurants, not a lot of recipes. So I tried it again, of course, and January, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah. What about that vegan? There's a black girl in Atlanta who started something called vegan something.
Slutty vegan.
She's really huge here in
Mhm.
Atlanta. I saw her picture there the other day. Well, welcome to Moms for Trans Kids podcast. Today we are missing Kimmy. Hi, Kimmy, wherever you are. So my name is Dr. Lulu. I'm a mom of a trans kid. Hello, but I'm also an activist, an agitator, and all-round advocate for the queer community. And I'm joined today by my beautiful co-host who wants to twin with me so badly, or is it the other way around? What's going on?
I'm Ellen, mom of trans kid, trans son, educator, and also a talent manager. Yeah, a talent agency manager, small agency, boutique talent agency. So, yeah, representing queer artists and really all artists, but mainly queer artists that often feel very safe in my space as me managing them. So, yeah, welcome.
Well, welcome. So today we don't have a guest. We had guests. Okay, let me just rephrase that. But for some reason they didn't show, which is fine. But the beautiful thing about podcasting is you can just always just wing it, is what we see here, right? Just have a show anyway. Just talk about whatever. There's always something to talk about in the queer space. So we decided last time we came that the first quarter of our show from now on we'll do like kind of in the news kind of thing, like what's new, what's happening, what we want to share politically, otherwise. So, Ellen, what do you have for us? Anything new in the state
Oh
of
my gosh.
California?
Well, the big win for the LGBTQ plus community is in Southeast Asia.
Yes.
Thailand. Thailand has passed a law that says same sex couples may legally be married. They are the only country in Southeast Asia that has now recognized and passed same sex marriage laws. So I'm excited about Thailand. Go Thailand.
Go Thailand for real. And actually, I'm supposed to be in Thailand in November. My publicist is trying to work some magic. I said no, but I don't know. I might go now. Yeah, because it's like I don't know. It's a
It
long
is
story.
beautiful. I've gone twice.
I have never
The
been.
Oh my gosh,
Well, let me tell him.
the queer
Let me tell.
community is amazing. The trans community is amazing.
That's what he said.
Very affirming. I mean, it's one of the things where it's great to go to another country and there's not these hangups like we have here in the States. But countries also recognize the duality. They recognize the male, female, masculine, feminine duality roles, or um, non-gender
Yeah,
conforming roles.
yeah.
So
They have a big, huge third gender presence there. It's a
they
huge
do.
deal. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. You know what? I just sent him a text. I said, Nico, sign me up for Thailand. So I'm going to Thailand. Oh wow. Okay, okay. Say no more. But yeah, this is so amazing because one of the things that we want to do is we want to normalize conversations about queer people actually doing things bigly, having fun,
Yeah.
celebrating. It's not all crying and woe is me. I'm too happy to only deliver like negative news anyway. So it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. But yeah. So but talking about happiness and joy, a transgender young, should I say older teen, had a birthday over the last few days. Do you want to share? And one of our former guests was actually the DJ. What? Let me get my flag.
Yeah.
Let me get
Well,
my
DJ
flag.
Nico had a chance
Get
to
my flag.
be Zaya Wade's DJ for her birthday party at the top of the summer. It was amazing. It was sponsored by the LGBTQ Center here in Los Angeles, one of the bigger centers here in Los Angeles. And my goodness, what such a great affirming space. They had a blast. We all had a blast. And it was good to just see, kids, young adults just allowed to exist, in a space of without people, making them feel that they don't belong. So it was a great time.
I bet. And talking about great times, I was at the GLMA. So GLMA, they call it Glamour, but it's
Mhm.
the Gay Lesbian Medical Association. That was the old name. Now it's the I think it's LGBTQ plus professionals for equity, health professionals for equity, something like that's a new name. But Glamour is the kind of the name that has kind of stuck there. Logo is GLMA, and it took place in Charlotte, North Carolina. Girl, let me tell you, I've been speaking for a long time, but I honestly want to say that the workshop that I did in Charlotte was hands down the best workshop I've ever done with
Really?
regards to the audience participation. I haven't really talked about this in any of my lives or anything because I'm still in awe. So
Hmm.
first of all, I roll up in there about like 9 p.m. I was really tired. I went to bed and I woke up in the morning and then I just went to do the rounds. But I had signed up to volunteer because I thought volunteering will help me see what it's like at the back end. And
Yeah.
that really worked. I was able to see what did they do at the back end? How did they get the swag bags ready? How did they, how does it work? The flow of show, whatever they call it. But anyway, then I attended a couple of events. And one thing that my speaking coach always tells me to do is every time you go into an event, raise up your hand and give value or ask a question. Let people see you that you're there. And
Hmm.
so you don't have to tell me that more than once. So I just went and I gave value. And then at the end of each one, I just said, oh, and if you'd like to know more, I'm giving my talk tomorrow at such and such time. So I did that multiple times. And I,
Yeah.
of course, I didn't even think it was going to be that effective, but I know this for sure that the rooms that I moderated, they had 20 to 25 attendees per room.
Uh-huh.
My room had 70 freaking 5 people.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
That is
it
wonderful.
worked. Yes, it worked. And then I had this idea to have us sit in a circle as opposed to auditorium style. But
Hmm.
the best thing about so we sat in a circle, big giant circle, multiple people at different circles, different layers of the circle, but it was beautiful. And then I was like, well, how is my slides going to work when I have a circle? But they were happy to look back for like a second, look at the slide, and then we discuss it. So it was so good.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is that October 1st is my youngest child's birthday.
Mm.
I want to stop here and say I want y'all to see how I said youngest child, because even though the child was assigned male at birth, I have to start being okay with, I don't know their gender identity unless they tell me. Now, I think
Right.
we're okay at this point to say that he's a male. But I just want people to realize that it's okay to also say child. Obviously, the kid turned 20, so I think we're good. But the
Yeah.
point is, just note that. Don't you know, I walk in and I say, so y'all, today's my youngest child's birthday. So that means 20 years ago, about this time, I was pushing. So I'm going to call him and kind of surprise him, and I would like y'all to sing the birthday song.
Oh, yay.
So I called this little twerp, and don't you know, he didn't pick up the phone. And then they were like, no, no, leave it, let it go to voicemail, let it go to voicemail. So he went to voicemail and they sang.
Yeah. That's the
It
best
was,
thing. Putting it in voicemail so they can have it as
yes,
a memory.
forever.
Yeah.
And they sang the birthday song for him. This was at the beginning of the talk. So
Yeah.
my talk is titled Gender Affirmation 101, Your Black Transgender Patient. So I wasn't talking about gender affirming care. I was talking about gender affirmation. And I
Right.
made the crowd kind of toss out when you hear gender affirmation for a 4-year-old, what do you think? So, all right, Ellen, You are next. So when you hear gender affirmation for a 4-year-old, what are your thoughts? What do you think are the things that parents can do to affirm the kids? And I only had two things, but the room gave me like 12 by the time we were done. I was like, I was learning from them. So what thoughts come up for you?
The first thing that always comes to mind is just listening,
Hmm.
being open to receiving, not coming in with having all the answers, being comfortable with not knowing everything.
Ooh, yes.
Um, and really just um, allowing for your child to just have this space to really um, be comfortable with accepting themselves. I think a lot of times there's this hesitation and resistance of kids who need to come out as how they identify is because there's this hesitation of self acceptance and they're looking for someone to say it's okay. So
Yes.
that resistance will happen, or constantly being in this inner turmoil continues because they don't feel that there's anyone that's going to tell them it's okay.
Yes. Okay, okay, okay. Listen, listen. Let me tell you something. You just nailed it. So everything you said just now, believe it or not, none of those were even mentioned. I love that. So I want to just take a minute to say I have two people watching on LinkedIn and then two more watching on IG. If you can hear my voice and you have any questions, please type in the comment section. This is a very open show. If you have any comments, please comment on them. I'm always checking the messages and we'll just put your comments on the screen and we'll talk about it. That's what this show is about. So, but you know what? Everything you said just now, i.e., listening, being open to receiving, and being comfortable with not knowing is so beautiful because those are the three things that I mentioned in my third TED talk about when a parent has a child, the child is essentially a stranger. How do
Yeah,
you learn about a stranger? You got to ask questions. You got to come in as a student for your, as opposed to being
yeah,
a teacher, which is what parents think. But let me tell you what they gave me. I was just like, I was floored. The obvious ones are the correct name and the correct pronoun, right? That's obvious. Well, the child is 4. They might not even know a name yet. So
right,
listening is so beautiful, right? And then someone said toys. Let the child pick the toys that they want, right? Affirming toys. Someone said books. Read books that kind of affirm their gender. And it was just so beautiful. I wasn't this like, in school. Go to the school and talk about your kid. I was just like talk to the neighbors about your child. Normalize it even when the child is still 4 or 5.
right.
You believe that? Like I was like, oh wow, I just had the name. I truly just had the name and the pronoun. And as the child gets older, their friends, right? Affirming their friends. Because
Yeah,
if their friends are queer, your child is most likely queer, right? It was so beautiful. So anyone who's listening to me, please write down these points that we're making so I can share them
yeah,
as in the comment section because I don't want to keep writing as I'm speaking. But this is so beautiful, Ellen. Like that's like 10 things already we've talked about. So parents, listen to your kids. They usually will tell you what they want you to know. And the Human Rights Campaign, I know you kind of work with them. They have these three things on their website, ICP. So the child is insistent, the child is consistent, and the child is persistent. Those three
yeah.
things. Yeah. As they grow older. So just remember those three things. But it's so beautiful. Yeah.
And it's so important too, like I mentioned, sometimes I tell people all the time, and I, always am talking to this point. I'm not a trans person.
Mm-hmm.
So I can enter into certain spaces knowing certain things because I have not lived it and I can't connect to it as someone who is trans has and can do. Um so to go into a space and not understanding is okay. Learning will happen a lot and it will
Mm.
be a progressive movement, right? You're not going to learn everything overnight. And even when you think you got it, some shit is going to change.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's going to change. So just making sure that you are being not only an advocate, especially from a medical component. You'd be surprised. Well, and Dr. Lulu, you would know about this, but some people in the medical field, they don't know about their
Are
trans.
you telling me? Hello, I didn't know about trans, and this is. We're going to
Right.
talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I want to give a shout out to Adrian Benson,
Hi,
and
Adrian.
last name Jarrett. Hold on, let me get the correct name. Last name Jarrett. Susan Jarrett. So Susan Jarrett says, "Love to you all." And then Adrian Benson has a question. This is so beautiful. This is why we do the show. So first of all, to everyone who is watching us, do me a favor and just tap the triangle on Instagram and share this video. Let somebody else see it, because
And
people need to learn from the sources, from moms who are truly walking the walk and talking our walk, right? So
yeah,
please, if you take a moment to share it, number one. Number two, join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then three, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Apple and Spotify. Okay,
and
that's
subscribe.
what I wanted to put that.
Listen, Dr. Lulu, I'm going to speak to this because I think Adrian and I are like living our twin flames.
Yes, let's go.
Because Adrian, I will tell you that this is exactly the first thing that I went through. When my son came out at 18 as trans male, the first thing that he wanted me to do was take down the photos of his past self, if you will. I will tell you that I just didn't know what to do with that information. Um, and the reason why um, it was such a shocker to me was because um, I'm thinking in my space that this is going to be a gradual thing. I'm thinking, okay, he's come out as trans. We'll eventually replace the pictures, and this will be something that'll be gradual. Well, it was very much the opposite. Um, so what I will tell you that there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, because you'd be surprised that as I did take those pictures down, because my son was going through more so of a visual representation. He wanted to see himself, who he identified as, because prior to, he was seeing himself as someone else that he didn't particularly like, right? So, as time went on, I put the pictures away. And Adrian, it's very important for you to also be okay with grieving.
Hmm,
That's very important.
love it. Love
That
it.
comes with many steps. I suggest, if you can, therapists that can help you work through that. But you are grieving all of the time and the memories and who your child presented themselves to you as for all of these years, right?
Love it.
But
So
you
this is so good. I love that because I have the direct opposites, which is so beautiful. This is why we're different moms with different life lived experiences. And like I learned over the weekend, lived expertise. So beautiful. First of all, Adrian, thank you for the question. I'm going to read it for those who will be listening to this podcast. So Adrian says, my kid is transitioning now. She came out at 19. She hates seeing her pre-transition slash baby photos, so I've put most of them away. But it's hard because they are memories for me. Advice. So first of all, Adrian, thank you. And please follow the show. I also just happen to be a life coach and a parent coach. So my work usually centers on moving forward. But as a parent, one of the questions I asked my kid was, do your pre transition pictures bother you? And my daughter said, no. And I wanted to say this because she is the one that said, Mom, I actually like my body. I love my body. So, not all children who are trans experience gender dysphoria. So, this is what I want to just put out there. My own kid said, I might maybe have an orchiectomy, which is basically removing the testicles. Otherwise, she said to me as at that time, she loves her body. So I want people to understand that, again, you don't have to have gender dysphoria to be trans. This is an example, right? That said, as a parent coach, Adrian, I'm going to ask you to journal, if you don't journal, your emotions. And I think
Mhm.
that's what Ellen means by being okay with grieving. I personally, my daughter told me a long time ago, say, Mom, what are they grieving? These parents who are grieving, what are they grieving? Your child was never that person. My child's words, not
Right.
mine. Because I also thought it was okay to grieve. And she said, Mom, I was never that person. I've always not been that person. So when we're grieving, it's almost like you're kind of focusing on the rear view mirror and not the windshield, which is bigger. The other one is smaller. So in order to move forward, what I'll say is take as long as you need to, if that's the case. But be aware that at 19, for 19 years, your child has known.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
it took her this long, or them, I don't know, we didn't say that. Okay, she. It took her this long to finally invite you in. So
Yeah.
the decision to make is rapid for you
Mhm.
to say, okay, moving forward, because that's a long time to
Yeah.
be in the body. So I'm just trying to hold space for the child here,
Yeah.
obviously, because I'm a pediatrician. And also, my work with parents is to help them move forward. So I want you to journal your emotions, journal the feelings, and ask yourself the tough questions. Why do I feel this way? Is it indeed helping me move forward? Is it
Mhm.
indeed helping me affirm my daughter? You will find that if you can answer those questions, the answer is not really.
And
Because
let me add to that, Dr. Lulu.
go ahead.
It is also
I
too,
want to see what they're saying.
it is also too, Adrian. It is okay to cry.
Yes.
I think that and let me explain why. I don't want you crying in your tears to present as though you are not accepting.
Accepting. That's
It
where the journaling comes in. That's why you have to be honest with yourself, period. That's why I said journal. Therapist or no therapist, I'm a coach. I didn't even tell you to come to me. I just said, first of all, with yourself in your bed by yourself, only you and your emotions. Pour it out on that paper. And then, of course,
yeah.
but go ahead. So,
And
but
a
this
lot
is
of my
Adrian's follow up.
and a lot of my tears, Dr. Lulu, were not because of lack of acceptance. My
Mhm.
tears often, or my anxiety or my stress, came from a place of my child not having the love, or not getting the love less than what they deserved, or
I
not
mean,
being
that whole
loved
time.
less than what they deserve. Right. So I will tell you that crying is okay.
Yes.
It is not a reflection of you not loving your child, you not accepting your child, you not advocating for your child. It is not that. It is certainly okay because you have 19 years of memory. I call my son my 18 plus 4.
I know you said
18
that.
years he's presented as one way, and now he's 22, so he's kind of starting all over. So he's my 4-year-old in theory. um
Yes.
but and I will also tell you, Adrian, that it is certainly okay to have these conversations with people that you feel that you're in a protected space with.
Yes.
Anything that you learn, Adrian, and I am a stickler for this, do not take advice from people
Who
who
are not?
have trans children,
Yes.
who do
Who
not
are
have
not
a direct
mirrors? Yes.
correlation or relationship with trans people. Do not.
Yeah.
Do
I
not.
think actually I love what you said. And I want to tell Adrian again, if we didn't say it, to affirm you. Adrian, I want you to hear this. Thank you, number one, for being a safe person. Your
Mm,
child will never tell you that they're trans if they're not safe. Obviously, we don't know the story of what happened, right? But first of all, thank you. Secondly, thank you also for reaching out, because it is out of strength that you reach out. It's not out of weakness. So you see two things affirming here. Thank you. But also the third thing is thank you for asking the questions,
yeah.
because these are the things, right? This is how you grow. So yes, absolutely. No one is going to walk your walk for you, but we, between the two of us, and when Kim is here, Kim has 2 trans kids. We've kind of added together lots and lots of years together. So, but we are all along the journey. I don't know where you are, Adrian. If you are around Atlanta, Georgia,
I hope
next month we're having an event. Who knows? If you're around Atlanta, Georgia, next month we're having an event. It's called Parents Supporting Parents.
so.
It's
And
a
now we're
mini
not.
conference.
And Dr. Lulu, we're gonna talk about that in event. But let me end this before I forget to tell Adrian this.
Mhm.
You'd be surprised, Adrian, when my son wanted to put his old presenting self, he wanted to put those pictures up on the wall. You'd be surprised. I was blown away when he said, "Mom, why don't we put the pictures of what my how I used to identify? Why
Yeah.
don't we put those on the wall? I would like to see those."
Good.
Because
Good.
he is embracing his whole
The
self.
total. Yes. Yes. I think we
He's
had a
embracing
guest
his
who
whole
said that
self.
one time. Yeah. We had a guest once.
He's recognizing that part of his journey cannot be erased.
Erased. Yes.
So he's recognizing his whole self. So he now wants me to and it's funny, Adrian, because I'm like, well, why? Because we got all these great, handsome pictures. So why are we putting up the old ones? So just be available for receiving and being open for learning, and just make sure that your child knows. I don't know if this is your first episode with us, but just make sure that your child knows that you are going to advocate for them, even in some very
Period.
difficult moments. Adrian, I have had to either redirect friends or I've had to let some people go, because when there is this feeling that your child is seeing you become involved in this erasure of their existence, it is so damaging long term. So I've had to say, you know what? Hey, this is what this is. This is what is happening. This is how he's identifying. These are his pronouns. It's just like when I tell, and this is a great example, when people say, "Oh, I can't get used to the pronouns." I tell people all the time, it's just like when you got married and you took on
Mm-hmm.
a different name. People had
Mm-hmm.
no problems with calling you your married name.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's no different.
It's no
That is
different.
your preference. That is the name that you are selecting to use. People have no problems with calling you by your married name.
Yeah.
So take all of that. Oh, let's talk about. I'm excited, Dr. Lulu.
All right.
Yes,
Really
our
quickly,
okay
Adrian
conversation. Oh,
answered
go
the
ahead.
question. Adrian answered the question. Adrian said that they're in the DC area. Adrian, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know about events in the DC area, but I'm sure we'll be coming to a city near you, because one of the things that we plan on doing is taking this show on the road. So as soon as we start getting funds for our nonprofit, we will be bringing the event to you. So now, Adrian, I'm going to put you down for Washington, D.C. When we come to the DMV area. You better show up, because we want to come meet you
Yes.
and hug on you and love on you. So the Moms for Trans Kids are going to be doing a tour across the nation, coming to talk to other parents and normalizing all the conversations, all the feelings. And I don't know if you know this, Adrian. I have this ABCDEF that I kind of came up with. A is self-acceptance, awareness, and an affirmation of your child. So self-acceptance is you, right? Then awareness, and then self-acceptance, and then affirmation of your child. And then, of course, advocacy and activism. B is believe your child, which I think you already did. C is continue to create a safe space for them. D
Yes.
is make a decision to support the kid moving forward. E is empower your child with the words, with educate yourself, right? And then F is feel all your feelings, right?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
then finish strong as you find community. So
Yes.
that's what we're doing, right? That's my ABCDF, and then you can continue with the rest of the alphabets. But thank you so much for your question.
Can
So
we
good.
get, is there a way we can get Adrian's? I would like to give her an email to someone who works with the Human Rights Campaign and works specifically, as they call it, they have a spinoff called Black HRC. So the
Yeah,
focus
I heard about that.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, the focus
I
is
don't
supporting
know.
Black and Brown and people of color, queer people, trans kids, the whole thing. So if we can get Adrian's email address, I would love to connect her to the
Here's what
person
we're
that's.
going to do. Adrian, if you have a pen where you are, because Adrian says that they would love to attend a show. So we're coming near you. We're coming. Adrian, if you have a pen, please write down our email. Is momsfortranskids@gmail.com. And it's a number 4. Send us an email so that Ellen can follow up with you, because this is exactly why we're doing this show, to be able to help you. I don't know anybody in the DC area. I went to Howard, but that's about it. So if you can send me an email, that's one. The second thing you can do is, if you can follow this show on Instagram and then send us a message on. Actually, you know what? Just send me a DM on Instagram and just
Yeah.
call it a D. Yeah, that's it. So send me a DM. I'm at the Mamatrician on Instagram. Send me a DM or send us an email. And then Ellen will take it from there. But this is what we love. We love to do this
Oh my
to
God, I'm
help
so glad
people.
that you're part of the show. Okay,
Yes,
Dr. Lou, now let's talk about this conference.
let's talk about it. Let's
I'm
talk about
excited. You have to tell our viewers why the name of the conference, why you got this conference together, who is going to be there, what to expect. Come on, tell us all about it.
it. So it's called Parents Supporting Parents. Is a mini conference, and but Parents Supporting Parents is a thing. So this year in February, I had an event for the task force, creating change task force, and I did a Parent Supporting Parents caucus. We had about 33 parents in the room, and we just talked about our journey from before we had kids to when we had the child to when we assigned them the incorrect gender or the gender that's not in congruence, right? To when the child showed any signs, whether we missed the signs, whether we saw the signs, to when the child invited us into their transgender world, to how we celebrate the child. So I want to keep that going. And I just moved to Atlanta. I'm like, you know what? Why not have an event, something similar to that? Have parents with a heavy focus on Black and brown parents, if I can find them, but just parents of queer kids, period. Talking about our journey, just normalizing that it's okay to misstep, to miss it here, to then celebrate and then parenting joy, right? And then trans joy for your kid too, for those who are trans, or just queer joy for those who are queer, like Ellen and I. So it's going to be November 15th. So it's after the election.
After the election.
And I know who's going to win already. So it's going to be amazing, right? Period.
Yes.
After the election, and it's going to, so it's a fundraiser for our brand new nonprofit called Dr. Lulu's Angels Haven, Inc.,
Yes.
which we are raising funds to help keep LGBT kids in safe and affirming homes so they're not on the streets, because 33% of unhoused youth are LGBT. And I always say 33% is just those who raise their hands. That number is probably higher. So if you'd like to join us and you live in the Atlanta area, it's November 15th. The link is in my bio. If you can't join us and you would like to make a donation, 100% of the proceeds, as this is not like this is a nonprofit. I'm not taking a penny of it. It's going to go into adopting foster homes and rescuing gender diverse kids from those foster homes where they don't have gender neutral bathrooms. They just don't use their pronouns, the right name, all the things. So that's my dream. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to have West African cuisine. We're going to have West African drums. I have hired this guy here who's from Senegal, and he's going to do West African drums. We're going to talk about legislature, how you're going to navigate that. Because we're in the South, the Bible Belt, of course, we're going to have affirming pastors. If you are a parent who is a Christian and you're kind of finding yourself stuck in that gap and you don't know which way to go, how to do it, we're going to tell you about affirming churches out there. So you can go with your child and feel welcome. For those of you who feel that way, we're going to have two doctors coming and talking about gender affirmation. What is that like? What is gender affirming surgery? What is gender affirming care? What is hormones? Where does that fall in? When do we start that? How do we do it? How do we move on? Where can you find resources of doctors outside states that are not affirming who can either mail your child the prescription or help your child find places near you? So it's going to be a long 3 hours, right? But we're going to do all of that in 3 hours. Plus, we're going to have a live taping of the show. Hello.
Exciting 3 hours.
Yes.
That is going to be
So, yes.
super
And my
excited.
dream is to make it bigger, to grow it. I'm just so excited. So excited. So excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be so informative. And, just to be in the space with other parents and, just really giving just some real solid advice and information. I mean, here you are, we have, you have a panel, we'll have a panel of parents who know this journey and still learning from this journey. I tell people
That's
all the
right.
time, I do not have all the answers, probably never will.
Never will. And it's okay.
And it's okay. All I know is that my young adult child has um relayed to me occasionally has relayed to me, if I was not the person supporting him, he would not be here. And that to me is far important, more important than how I care about someone's views, point of views, feelings, somebody who does not understand this journey. Um, it's important for my child to exist, and it's important for him to outlive me.
Amen. That part.
It is
That
important for him
part.
to outlive me. I tell him all the time, listen, I am not in any position to have any type of ceremonies for you, homegoing ceremonies for you prior to my ending. I'm
No, it's not happening. We're not. It's not
no,
happening. We bind and cast. That's not happening. That's not happening.
absolutely not.
We
Okay,
want
so
to take a
Adrian
moment.
left us. Adrian left
Yes.
us her.
No,
I'm gonna.
actually, no, not Adrian, but this is Sim Dog 48. Is
Oh,
giving
I thought it was Adrian.
is
Okay, go
giving
ahead.
Adrian some love. So Sim Dog 48, thank you so much for watching. And I think I know who you are. Says at Adrian, I used to live in the DC area, and I think the Whitman Walker, maybe it's a program, is a great resource in the DMV area. If you search DC Trans Parents Support Group, you should find the PDF. I want to send some merch to SimDog48 for this. This is exactly what we're talking about. It takes a village and a community to raise and save our children. This is amazing. So first of all, I took that information down. So SimDog48, if you're who I think you are, send me a DM and send me your home address, and I'm going to mail you some merch. We have a mug that we're going to hopefully make more mugs, but I have a T-shirt and my face cap that is coming down the pipeline. So we're going to send you some merch. So thank you so much for that. And I think so. This is all on Instagram, by the way. And I think Adrian responded. I knew it was you. Hi, Simran. I didn't want to say anything until I was sure. Hi, my love. Hi, hi, hi. So this is so beautiful. Hi, Simran. Simran is actually non-binary, and I met them at the event in Charlotte. And Simran is coming on the show. So exciting. So exciting. In
Yes.
June, but Simran is coming. So this is a response from Adrian saying, yes, my daughter is actually getting care through Whitman Walker. Is that what it is? Whitman
Wonderful.
Walker, which I'm so grateful for. I didn't think to look there for support for me, but I will. Look at that. This is it. Full circle moment. I want to
Full
just hold
circle
space for
moment.
both of you. So cool. How are you feeling, Ellen, about today's episode? We haven't even finished yet. Look at
We
what's just
haven't
happened.
even. I am sitting here trying to check everything off, and we have so many other things to cover. But I did love the dialogue and the conversation. And like you said, Dr. Lulu, it is just such an amazing feeling to be able to have these resources and support Black parents, particularly Black parents, because I'm going to tell you, when my son came out as trans, I had no idea who to talk to, where I felt that people weren't going to pass judgment. At the same time, people were going to actually be helpful in giving advice, um,
Right.
and not having an opinionated conversation with me about, oh, well, what they think and how they feel, and oh, this is all, it's not going to be.
Right.
I didn't have that. And so that has been the movement and my push in joining Dr. Lulu and Moms for Trans Kids, to be able to have these conversations and to be able to have this real connection, because it was absent. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to
Yeah.
talk to. And I want to say that there have been people that have referred me to groups that have parents that do have trans children. However, there's so much, there's so many layers to the Black community and parents that have trans kids, particularly that are Black and brown parents and children. So this didn't make me feel. I'm hoping that this makes you feel a little bit more relatable, because we are Black
Yeah,
and
we're connected by our storylines. Thank you so much. That was beautifully said. So the show is called Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids is a podcast. We come every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that in December, the time changes to 3 p.m. So just stay tuned. For everyone who is joining us, please follow us on, first of all, go to YouTube right now, all of y'all. go to YouTube and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids. Find us on Apple and Spotify and follow us and then leave us a review. Tell us something honest about what your thoughts are about the show. As you can see now, we listen to our listeners. Right? We want to help y'all. We don't know all the answers, and then it's a community. And before you know it, one person is helping the other person, who's helping the other person, and then before you know, we're growing. So thank you so much to Simran SimDog48 for that amazing resource that you just shared. I'm actually going to put that resource in my book because why not? So good, so good. So, Ellen, what
Yeah.
else do you want to talk about? What else do you want to talk about?
Okay, so we talked about the conference. The other thing that I would love to talk about is just the mental health component and how that is important, not only just for your trans child, making sure that your trans child has resources and some outlet to speak to a therapist regularly, but also what's very important, asking your trans child if you are okay with supporting them going to their medical appointments. This is not a one thing fits all, if you will. And so if your child is moving into a space of hormonal therapy, testosterone, or otherwise, it's really important. I'm sorry, my puppy he's needing some attention over here.
I thought it was a child. I was like, what's going on?
It's
I
like
was like, you
having
have a
another
baby
kid.
on me.
Listen, having dogs is like having
With a
other
little small
children.
child. Yes, we talk about that all the time on this show.
Oh my
Our
God.
animals, make a cameo. Our kids make a cameo. Our spouses make a cameo. This is a live show. It's not edited. We're moms. We're real. And as you know, we truly don't give a fuck. And we say that all the time. We don't care. Look at the puppy. Oh my goodness. Ah, that
He
is so.
is
Oh my God. Oh
having
yes.
a field day over there. This is Sushi.
Hi, Sushi. I'm about to become a dog mom. I swear to God. I thought I
Let me
weaned
tell you
myself,
something.
but Atlanta.
This is Sushi, and I have a Saki.
Oh, wow.
So
Hi, Sushi. Oh my God. That is so cute.
let me hug you.
Yeah, let me tell you, if you have any questions, please share with us. Oh my goodness. Are they twins? Are they siblings?
No, they are not. Sushi, this is Sushi and this is Saki. They are not twins,
And they're
but
not siblings.
not siblings.
They're not from the same litter.
No, they
What?
are no, they are not. So these little guys, I'm telling you, it's like having. I feel like they think I birthed them. They think I'm their real mom, but it's like having children.
Yes,
Matter
it
of fact, you know
is.
why? It's worse than having children. Let me tell you why. Because they don't come with a $10 copay when I take them to the doctor.
I know that's right.
They come with
Oh
the, you
my
need to pay the
goodness.
bill all up front right now.
Oh my goodness. I know Kim's dog makes a cameo all the time. I think the dog has a whole Facebook group, something Harper. First name I forget, but last name is Harper. So cool. So
But
cool.
let
So
me.
the
I'm
show,
sorry. Sorry, I'm so interrupted by my dogs. But
that's
the
okay.
medical.
Adrian is telling you cutest dog
Oh,
ever.
thank you, Adrian. The medical component is really crucial because, as I mentioned earlier, there are. I don't want to say a lot of doctors. I don't want to say that, but there are also doctors who may not find the medical urgency and importance and necessity and how to treat your child properly. You know, my son has gone through a series of testosterone doses, milligrams. We got to find the right one that is a good balance for his body weight, all of those things. um and so it has to be calibrated and all of that. When he was getting too much of a testosterone dosage, it caused for him to um lack emotion, believe it or not.
Mm.
And so we had to go back and forth and back and forth, and me talking to the doctor at his appointments was crucial because the doctor got a chance to see and hear what I saw and what he was going.
Mm.
Sometimes
Mm.
he doesn't know, or he doesn't see him himself, but those conversations are really important. So I'm able to tell the doctor, well, he's he's been a little more moodier on this
Mm,
prescription. He's
mm,
been, he hasn't been able to be attentive and focused and all of those things.
mm.
Keep in mind we're addressing a chemical change here.
I
Um,
love that for you. I love that. And so basically, so first of all, the show is called Moms, the number four Trans Kids podcast. Please follow us on all social media platforms, I think. But I'm most worried about, I'm most interested in the YouTube channel because that's where we're trying to get to 1,000 followers so YouTube can donate to our nonprofit. So please try to go to the YouTube and follow us or subscribe to us, Moms for Trans Kids. And then we have Apple and we have Spotify. But what Ellen is saying is so important. I, as a physician and as a pediatrician for that matter, I was not taught anything about transgender in medical school. As a
mm,
matter of fact, I was taught that the LGBTQ community was a mental illness. And
mm,
while we were in Charlotte, we had a lady that spoke with their spouse, and they talked about the history of homophobia and how medicine and religion basically perpetuated, is that the word, homophobia, and how just all the things. So please, if your child is okay with you going with them, I'll strongly
yes.
advise you go. If the child is older, obviously if your child is younger, they're a minor, you have to go with
You
them.
have
But
to.
I want to say this because one of the things I wanted to talk about is a chapter from my book. Is about, the book is called About Your Black Transgender Child, but this chapter is titled About Staying on the Fence. So I want to talk about staying on the fence because for parents who, you know your child has already kind of told you what it is, you need to support them and affirm them, and you're still kind of like dilly-dallying. We have brand new numbers that just came out in the news recently that said all this anti-transgender legislation has increased suicidal ideation and suicidal behavior by 72%.
Hmm.
So anti-transgender laws, it obviously is not in your house, right? But it has increased suicidal behavior amongst trans youth by 72%. So please, I'm pleading with you. You are the last frontier when it comes to affirming your child. We need you to get on board sooner. You can process your emotions over here, but you need to affirm your child over here because
Yes.
72% means we don't want to send you thoughts and prayers. And there are people who would rather send you thoughts and prayers than to tell you that you should affirm your child. I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that because that's all part of the anti. And we want to end on a high note, on a good note, and that is that the state of California, which has been a trailblazer, believe it or not, in all things LGBT plus affirmation, and then you still have a lot of, I heard that in Sacramento and in Fresno, we still have a lot of anti-LGBT activity there. But the state of California recently passed a law that has allowed same-sex couples to qualify for IVF. So an IVF is in vitro fertilization. So I want to say thank you to state of California because we need to talk about all these things. I mean, the states that are doing good, we need to kind of, if you want to move, you may need to consider moving to California because
Oh, it's
that's happening.
expensive out here.
I know.
It is expensive, and you know what? It is a trade-off. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
fortunate and blessed that I am able to reside here in California, right outside of Los
Mhm.
Angeles, where I know that my son will have the necessary care, whether physical, mental, everything from his name change. California is really good in affirming queer children, particularly trans people. So I'm really glad that I do live in a place where I don't have to be on the battlegrounds as much
Mhm.
as I'm hearing in other states. One of
Mhm.
the reasons why we have not moved, probably will not move.
Mhm.
We don't have to worry about the medical component, his medicine, his testosterone. We just don't have those battles. But I want to be very empathetic to the parents in other places that do.
Mhm.
And hopefully we are a springboard for giving resources and just being able to support parents in that way.
So this is so beautiful. I want us to also end on this beautiful note. So Sim Dog, and I saw this comment a while back. I didn't want to post it yet because I wanted to post it at the end. Sim Dog says, "Oh, I'm so glad." And Dr. Lulu, this is Simran. So Simran is going to, and this is great. So thank you first of all for affirming us on our little podcast because we believe in this podcast. We're not going anywhere.
Yes,
So
no.
thank you so much for thank you so much. And then also thank you for signing up to come on the show in June. I appreciate that as well. But also thank you for wanting to. So Simran wants to do something amazing, and I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it yet. In the transgender healthcare arena. And let me tell you, this is why we need techies around us who are also gender diverse because they know what the kids need. Because I'm not, I'm a parent, but I'm a physician. And just to tie into what you said earlier on about doctors not knowing, Simran is going to do something amazing to help doctors know. So this is so good. So I'm just going to put that out there until Simran is ready to share with the world, but it's so beautiful. And before we end, because we can, it is October. I need you to vote. Okay, I need to talk about voting. Vote
Yeah.
your conscience. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but if you're in the LGBT plus community, or your because let me tell you, when your child tells you that they're queer, you become a member of the community. Okay, just in case. Okay, you are an ally, and the second A is ally. So when your child tells you that they're queer, you are automatically a member of the community because you're an ally. You need to vote for those people who at least they have an agenda in the positive light for your child and people like your child.
Those people who are not trying to diminish our livelihood, to diminish
Defame
who
it.
we are in our existence. I don't even
Mhm.
associate. I tell people all the time, do not tell me if you are voting. And I don't want to get into Democratic and Republican and whatever. I'm voting for the person that is not trying to erase us and diminish us as a human being, as a human race. So I tell people often, do not tell me if you are not voting for someone who is not seeking intentionally to remove my rights, to remove my existence as a human being, don't tell me because
Mhm.
I will automatically, there's no reason for why would I want to be friends with somebody
With
that
you.
tell me
That
that
wants my child to die.
why would I want
No.
to be friends with them?
No. So
Anyway.
anyway, the show is called Moms, the number four trans kids. Please share, click the little triangle and share today's episode on your social media platforms. Number one. Number two, I want to give a shout out to 3 Minute Storyteller. I appreciate you too. They're giving us a shout out. Thank you so much. Please follow the show. It's Moms, the number four trans kids everywhere on Apple, on Spotify, and on YouTube. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can have YouTube. I think, I don't know what they do, but they will donate to our nonprofit that is going to help
Mhm.
further the education and the advocacy work they were doing and help us build homes for unhoused LGBT plus youth. And yes, homeless is actually not a good term. Unhoused is better. Houseless is even better. Anyway, just wanted to go there. My name is Dr. Lulu. We're here every Sunday with Ellen or Kim or Ellen and Kim or me. I don't know. Ellen, tell the people where they can find you and follow your work. Tell them.
Oh my gosh, you can find me. Email is lndmanagement@gmail.com. And you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram. You will see me always active with my trans son, who is an international DJ and producer by just, by my gosh, by way of him. I think he was like really lived in this past life. I feel like I have a 60-year-old kid. um so yes, you can find me there. And please send me emails or what have you if you ever have questions, and I will definitely answer what I can answer, and what I can't answer, I will find somebody who can.
Yes. So my email is coach at dr-lulu.com, coach at dr-lulu.com. I'm going to try to write it down. You can send me an email, any questions you have, any concerns, any comments, any topics, any advice on people you think should come on the show. If you would like to come on the show, all of that, right? But most importantly, if you know anyone who lives in the Atlanta area, tell them we're having this event for parents. One.
Yes.
Two, we're also coming to LA in March,
Woo.
right? Hello. And because I don't want to do cold weather, we're going to Michigan in June. But I'll be in LA next week speaking at Sony and at the Black Doctoral Network. So come find me. Let's meet. I mean, let's do it. This
Let's
is
do
what we're
it.
doing for a living. We're not going anywhere. So yes. Sim Dog, send me something about your site so I can send you our merch. Adrian, go check out those folks in DC. Let me see what else. Yeah. So the Whitman Walker. Yeah, this has been amazing. Ellen, how are you feeling at the end of the show?
I'm feeling great. I am just so excited about the conference in
Yes.
it has been, oh my gosh, it has been a journey, but it has been an amazing journey. And hey, listen, every day gets better. I tell you,
Yes.
it does. Every day gets better.
Yes, yes. All right, y'all. It's been amazing because I know Instagram is going to shut us down at the top of the hour. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us again for another fabulous, amazing, fantastic, all the good things episode of the Moms for Trans Kids podcast. If you know anyone that could be a guest on the show, if you know anyone that could help us magnify our voices, let us know. We want to send them an episode so that they can listen to it and give us a shout out on social media so that we can get bigger, all the things. My name is Dr. Lulu. I'm a pediatrician. I'm also a parents coach and a speaker and an author. And we are doing this event. So I guess event host as well. November 15th at 5:30 p.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. We are going to, it's going to be amazing. If
Gonna be
you're not there, don't say I didn't tell you. All right, folks. Peace, love, and soul. Bye.
bye.
Stay behind, madam. Let me hang up on. Bye. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Bye on Instagram. And just like that, another show is over.
That was great.
And yes, that was really good.